The more I've learned about women's emotional health, the more I've come to see how many things we were never taught about our bodies, our minds, and how all these things work together to create our moods and our emotional experience. Today I want to share with you about hormones, which to me is one of the most important elements for us to understand ourselves better and to know what we can do to help ourselves feel well and healthy. Now, for more on this, I hope you'll join me for my free webinar, Women's Emotions, What You Were Never Taught About Your Emotional Health, Hormones, and the Brain. Now, you can click the link below for that, but today let's focus on the 3-minute therapy on hormones. First, hormones like estrogen are actually precursors to the neurotransmitters in our brain, like serotonin, that make us feel healthy, well, and normal. When we have enough neurotransmitters like serotonin in our brain, we feel happy and healthy and normal and well. When we don't, we feel depressed or anxious or down. Now, estrogen is directly linked to those neurotransmitters like serotonin. So when estrogen changes, as it does during our menstrual cycle, neurotransmitters like serotonin directly change too. That's important to know because when we have those shifts in our hormones, we are definitely predisposed to have more shifts in our brain chemistry that can lead to things like moodiness, irritability, PMS, and other kinds of symptoms. Second, these hormonal shifts in our cycle actually happen twice. Yes, that's right, twice. Most women don't know this, but there are actually 2 shifts or dips in levels of estrogen during a menstrual cycle. So a typical menstrual cycle would be about 28 days, and the first shift would happen as estrogen builds up the first half of the cycle. On day 14, about halfway through, that's when ovulation occurs. When ovulation occurs, those hormones like estrogen actually go down a little bit, and that's your first dip in the cycle. Then the levels of your hormones like estrogen start to climb again, and then there's a plummet near the end of your cycle before you start your period. So many women are predisposed to these shifts in hormones, and that might make it so that you might have symptoms of premenstrual syndrome or premenstrual dysphoric disorder, which is even more severe, or just moodiness or irritability during the week or a few days before you have your period, but also in the middle of your cycle when that other shift occurs. And finally, third, it's not the level of the hormone in your body that matters. It's more about how sensitive you are to the shift in hormones. So that's what makes it tricky when you go to your doctor and ask them to check your hormone levels and everything looks fine. They can check hormones across a month and look for the changes and shifts, and that might be helpful. But often, most people don't understand that it's really not the actual levels that are important, but really how sensitive you are to those shifts. And for women who are sensitive to those shifts, they're going to have a lot more trouble with their mood around those 2 times of the month. Now, if you want to learn more about your hormones and how these hormone changes affect your brain and how your brain and your hormones are changed and change each other as you go through life stress and experiences, I invite you to join me for my free webinar, Women's Emotions, What You Were Never Taught About Hormones, Your Brain, and Your Mental Health. Click the link in the description to join today and claim your spot. This is information you don't want to miss, and trust me, it has been life-changing for me, for my daughters, for all the women in my life that I've been able to teach these things. We women need to understand our bodies, our minds, our emotional health, and we can do so with the right information. It can truly be life-changing. Join me also here back on 3-Minute Therapy for more next time, or visit my website at drchristinahibbert.com for more on what we were talking about today and many other topics. Bye-bye.